It is 10:59 p.m. on the west coast of the United States. It is 0559 GMT. This is cBAS After Dark for St. Patrick's Day, the 17th of March, 2015. Thank you for being here. Really fun Tuesday, I gotta say. I love Tuesdays probably the most in doing this stupid free-for-all podcast. A free-for-all podcast can literally be, thank you, Hal, literally be anything I want it to be, and yet there are nights when I kind of dread coming on the air because of all the heaviness or like news I want to do or sort of serious stuff. Like Philip Perea was really difficult of a story for me to kind of try and slog through. And I still never really finished. I kind of trailed off when he lost me. And it's a sad story because that guy killed himself. He was obviously sick and he had much more than Fox News, weirdness going on. But the truth is, not the guy who deserved to have his story told. I just realized I've forgotten to get a lovely beverage. So give me 2 seconds. Reach over here. I got one, but I failed to place it within reach. Now I have the story, the lovely Code Red Mountain Dew, little brominated vegetable oil, never hurt anyone. Okay, well, let's get to it. What do we have tonight? I've talked with you about station IDs, sign-ons, and sign-offs, the stuff that really gets me excited inexplicably. Perhaps stupidly, some people would say, right? Like it's actually pretty weird how this stuff is so exciting to me because of its retro nature in some ways, in a lot of ways, because it's stuff I grew up with in other ways or was somehow exposed to later. Like some of the stuff I was not exposed to in childhood, and yet I found out later because of YouTube. People put clips of stuff online that are pretty bizarre and sort of what do I want to say, like specific to a very small number of people who would like it. Yet you go on YouTube and you find other people who are interested in TV station logos, sign-ons and sign-offs, promotions, news promos, station promos. What am I trying to say? Like announcers, news, music, and newscast opening sequences, right? The stuff that frankly should not be much more than a second thought. You look in the olden days of newscast opening sequences, and it's like, maybe a little bit of music, dun 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 dun, dun with an announcer voice, and just a camera shot over the news. Like the first Today Show was like a very, very basic, did not have any music. I think all you heard was the sound of the teletype and announcer. I'm Jack LaScooley, and now here is Dave Garraway. It was like, you watched that January 14th, 1952 clip of the Today Show from the very beginning. I think it's on YouTube. I remember, maybe we should pull that up, but I'm not going to pull it up right now because I have a ton of stuff to bring you. The first thing, I sort of go through picking stuff that I feel like I want to talk about a little bit. And I know I've got so many things I don't know where to start. We're going to talk about Nickelodeon a little bit, the TV Kids cable channel that was not always a 24-hour cable channel. I think that's interesting because when I was a kid, I remember when we got cable. And I believe I remember when, as I discussed last night, when we got cable, it was 2 through 13, the channels. And that was a bonus because it was all of the channels between 2 and 13, not just the ones that we'd had prior, which were 4, 6, 9, and 13. Maybe channel 11 on a good day came in. It was that station that would become the Fox affiliate later, the one you had to really readjust the antenna and kind of hold your body in a special position to even receive. Which was, good times back then. But instead of just having 4 channels, plus maybe PBS, you had 2 through 13. What is that? 11 channels. And, maybe ESPN was in there, maybe like TBS from WTBS back then, Atlanta, the superstation. Maybe WGN was in there. And I think there was one channel that played a double role. It was in the daytime, Nickelodeon, television for kids. In the nighttime, it was the Arts and Entertainment Network, which was also 12 hours only a day. I'm talking about the era when HBO did not broadcast 24 hours a day. HBO was at one time like a 12-hour-a-day channel. And then, the one I should have looked up and I failed to look up before I went on the air. There's a promo on there where the HBO announcer is saying, "You're watching Home Box Office, now 24 hours on weekends," like bragging about their new 24-hour lineup on Saturday and Sunday only. Think about that. HBO now is not only 24 hours, it is like, 125 hours a day because there's 5 different HBOs or 8 different HBOs. So it's literally multiple channels of HBO, and Showtime the same, Movie Channel the same, Cinemax the same. And I mean, even we can even expand it to the more, I'm sorry, I'm slouching in my chair, the more sort of current, I guess, premium channels, Stars and Encore and stuff like that, where I think you do have to pay extra to get those, or it's like a slightly different tier of premium. You might be able to get Stars and Encore and not HBO and Showtime kind of a thing. But all that aside, the promo I'm going to not be able to play probably because it's going to be hard to put my fingers on searching for it out of the blue like that. But it's, you're watching Home Box Office, the #1 pay TV channel, now 24 hours on weekends. You know, like they were really excited. We will look at a couple of things proving that HBO is not always a 24-hour channel. One of those things we're going to look at, and I talked about it a second ago, the sign-ons and sign-offs. I'm going to turn my mic up a little bit. Hopefully I'm not speaking too loudly. Sign-ons and sign-offs. What is that? If you don't know television or have never really worked at a TV station or have any idea about broadcast television. In the time when TV stations were broadcast stations only, you know, kind of before the days of cable, for the most part. I guess it could have been post-cable, but I feel like this is something that really is true of the pre-cable era, when TV stations turned on their transmitter, literally. There were stations that were off the air until 6 in the morning or something like that. And then they would come on the air, and that's when you'd see a test pattern for a while, kind of a thing. And then I do that circle motion with my hand because they have that circular test pattern, I believe, that had like a Native American with an Indian headdress kind of a thing in the middle, or, you know, like the channel logo, perhaps. These days, it's just color bars of various types that are a test pattern. But and I've even played on this podcast in the past sign-offs. My favorite one being from KCRA Channel 3. I think it is. It's Channel 3 in Sacramento, because Channel 3 in Sacramento had this, hey, what's happening? You know, it was not like what's happening, but it was very non-pompous, very kind of real person. Hey, you know, we're KCRA 3. We're signing off the air. Portions of the broadcast day have been produced. What did they say? Portions of the broadcast day have been made possible, reproduced, complete or in part, by mechanical reproduction, or something like that. Like they have this very just casualness to it that many other stations did not. That's why it's remarkable, is because many of the other stations, you're watching WABC. WABC is owned and operated by American Broadcast Company and is, studios and offices at 209 West Elm Street in Los Angeles. And the effective radiative power, it was very pompous. It was very official announcer with the fanfare music and dun dun dun. And in KCRA Sacramento, it's like, hey, we're going off the air. We broadcast from California's largest structure, the such and such tower at such and such address. Meeting all of the FCC requirements, sort of giving the address, giving the network affiliation, giving the power at which they broadcast, which they don't say most of the time throughout the day. The only thing they have to do throughout the day is what they call a legal ID at the top of the hour. And I think most TV stations do that with text on the screen rather than radio legal IDs have to be said. This is KQKE, Oakland, San Francisco. This is KNST Tucson, stations where I've worked and done legal IDs thousands of times over. Let's get to it. Enough of me yammering. I want to get to HBO signing on. Now, this is them coming on the air from literally black screen or just static. There was literally nothing on the signal before HBO would come on the air. Let me switch to it over here, and we will try and see. I will let you see what I am seeing, and we will have, the blast we're going to have. I have so much good shit to bring to you. Okay, is this the HBO sign on? That's an ad. Oh, that's actually the HBO sign off. Hold on. Let me find for us the HBO sign on. Oh, wait, I think I did get it. Didn't I get it already? I think I pulled it up here. Yeah, here we go. HBO sign on and promos. Not only is this remarkable because of the sign on that you will see, which sometimes includes that like 4 very fast DTMF tones, like touch tone phone tones in a very rapid succession. But just check this out. Oh, man, hold on. This stupid Google software does the wrong thing about 1 time in 10. It switches the camera back to me when I go full screen on YouTube. Let's try this again here. You're able to now see the screen. I want you to see. Full screen. Let's proceed. Again, black signal, right? Nothing is on the channel until HBO.
Welcome to Home Box Office Subscription Television, bringing you great movies, sports events, and special programs, unedited and commercial-free. It's good to have you with us.
That is it, okay? And then the promos start and they're on the air. Let's just review that because I find that so goddamn remarkable. It's just an announcer and a still frame of the HBO logo from back then, which itself is different from the HBO logo today slightly. Listen to that announcement, the words.
Welcome to Home Box Office Subscription Television, bringing you great movies, sports events, and special programs, unedited and commercial-free. It's good to have you with us.
It's good to have you with us. Oh, God, I love it. And this is literally, I think, my favorite. I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to switch back to me for a second. I have gone on this very podcast on and on at great length about HBO in space. The promo done in 1983 by Liberty Studios. It was not a promo. It was like an introduction. It was the thing where you kind of fly through the city. You come out of the window of the people turning on HBO, and you fly over the city, and you fly over the suburbs, and you fly over the kind of country forest time. And you go up into the sky, and then the HBO logo at all silver 3 dimensions comes at you. I've gone on and on about that before here. That was 1983, like 3 years after the stuff that we're seeing. That's kind of everybody's traditional favorite promo, 65-piece orchestra that did the music, all of it complete. The reason I love it and I adore it, I do, is because of the complete analogness of it. Not a bit of computer involvement with the exception of programming the camera. You know what I'm saying? No computer graphics. The logo, the letters HBO were not computer formed in any way. They were physical metal letters that were filmed with a camera. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that the computer even was able to do was to kind of precisely control the camera's movements for this very long shot. So, I mean, not only am I fascinated by the quality of the music and the differentness of it compared to all the other channels on television in 1983, but specifically that kind of lack of computer involvement for every single element of it. And we've gone through that before. That aside, that is not my favorite overall time HBO sort of 5-second station identification. The one we're going to see now is the one that is my favorite. It came before the HBO in space, very famous one. This is just a bunch of sort of rainbow colors going in a circle and then kind of flashing into what they call an art card. I'm almost sure this was not any kind of on-screen animation, even manual or analog animation. I'm pretty sure they kind of did a flare, which might have been animated in some way, like Viditron or some kind of old analog video effects thing, but then it literally flared to what was an art card, a printed bit of art on a card that was photographed in the manual way. A camera was set up filming this card. Maybe you'll see what I'm talking about, maybe you won't, but here, enjoy this from HBO in 1981. May 13th is the date on here. Hopefully the audio is good too. It goes by so fast that I sort of feel like I have to intro this.
Home Box Office.
That right there is what I'm talking about, the art card. Now, you did see it animate slightly. The HBO logo kind of grows onto the screen. It is smaller. It doesn't exist, then it's small. I'm going to do it again. That's 5 seconds. That's all it is. But it's my favorite one because of the music. Ding, 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 ding. Dun. I wish I could sort of get it in a high resolution, the original quality, because that music had bass to it that drops out on the HBO version. I'm trying to turn the volume up as loud as I can so you can get every detail, and maybe if I shut up, that'll help. But just check it out.
Monday. You're watching Home Box Office.
Oh, God. I mean, I have, in fact, watched that 5 seconds over and over and over again. This is a whole series of HBO sort of production like elements, promos, and so on. This is the end of a movie. And then these promos are also epic. Look at this.
A young cop survives an attempt on his life to become the victim of blind justice. What really happened in the onion field? John Savage stars next.
Oh my God. I mean, let's just watch that again. What I freak out about there is so much because back to me for a second. I've talked about this before. I'm big into the text on the screen, character-generated animated text on the screen, however it happened. Whether it was manually hand-drawn animation, whether it was sort of that old-school analog Viditron kind of video Chiron effect type thing, or the more modern, completely digital everything, which is obviously easy to do in stuff like Final Cut Pro's motion module now. But I don't think it was easy to get that back in the olden days. And when you look at this next on HBO, okay, what are you looking at, cBas? Why do you get so excited? It's because the way the letters animate, the way they kind of move onto the screen, the way that they continue to gleam, like almost like they're made of metal, right? I mean, so fuck what? I hear you cry, but it's like, I mean, seriously, that was not easy to do, and it's just so snazzy. The music is what really does it. That's what I've learned in producing things like that inspired me to produce, which was a solid soundtrack can make any, sort of half cheesy animation look 50% cooler, or shitty soundtrack can make any decent animation 50% shittier. I really, really get very excited about both the HBO station ident you saw at the beginning with the rainbow colors. Dun, 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 dun. You're watching Home Box Office, right? And then the sort of movie announcer, not movie announcer, but like the, faceless announcer. Next on HBO, a person goes through the park and meets the love of his life. It's so-and-so and so-and-so starring in this movie. Next on HBO, right? That whole thing. Tremendous. And I'm assuming I have such a strong reaction to it because I don't think we had HBO. In fact, I know we did not have HBO when I was a kid, very young. We got it later, but I'm pretty sure I was exposed to that at some form because the sheer, as I said, differentness, the cut above, it really, I mean, it's the difference between seeing a little promo for the D2D local news on your Enid, Oklahoma local TV station versus seeing its promo for the local news in Southern California on Los Angeles KNBC kind of a thing, right? Like it's a cut above or two cuts above. This HBO shit was a cut or two above everything else on television. And so when I'm responding so excitedly to that sort of thing, that's why. Look at this. Twinkles and gleaming. Look at it happening up here. See it? Flare, twinkle, twinkle, gleam. And then here comes the HBO logo, which again is not the actual HBO logo. It's sort of the stylized letters that match. The HBO logo never looked like that. It's those letters we saw back here. This was the HBO logo, right?
You're watching Home Box Office.
That, the O with the circle in it, kind of cutting into the B in the olden days. Excuse me. In later days, they actually had the O separate from the B, and maybe we'll see that going on later. What else is worth showing you here? I guess this is all just old stuff, so I'm not going to bother with that. But, I mean, that was sort of the sign-on, the early promos, which really just, I mean, there's no sexual arousal, but it's just as good as that in my mind. Like, I really get so excited and so delighted by looking at this shit. All right, let's look at a sign-off here. The old school HBO sign-off. When they were not, now they've been on the air for 12 hours. Now they're going to go off the air. Promos first.
Somewhere in space,
Friday.
a cargo transport encounters an unknown signal. Its source, a strange being which turns a routine voyage into a journey of terror. Alien. Saturday. Daughter. It's Grammy Award winner George Jones with Emmylou Harris.
Where? I think these promos go on for a while, which is why I'm trying to sort of. All right, and then you're going to see what you're going to see next. This is the animation that really I think I respond to because I was exposed to this stuff that was just so different. And then what we're going to see is literally a kind of a hand-drawn cartoon animation where they would sign off the air. And I just love this shit. I eat it up with a soup ladle right here. All right, my fucking chime went off there and ruined it. Hold on, listen again. (1981). And the letters go off, HBO, signing off the air. HBO from Time Warner or whatever it was called. And then I think we got, yes, the tones. And the color bars. Okay. So literally, just such wonderful old schoolness, you know, the manualness, the analogness of it delights me. Let's switch gears a little bit. Around 11:30, I want to stop and do actual game show Tuesday, as I always like to do. But let us look at on TV. What the heck is on TV? I hear you cry. Around the same time as cable was doing, you know, pay for 2 through 3, you know, 11 channels of high quality continuous broadcast, whatever, through into your home via a cable line. It was also a time when broadcast stations were still doing broadcast, but broadcast stations, in some cases, on the UHF dial, I think for the most part, would sort of have a period when they would scramble their signal. And without a special decoder box that you could only get from this company that did the broadcasting, you couldn't really see what they were broadcasting. It was meant to be an broadcast airwaves version of pay TV, like HBO, Showtime, you know, premium television, we call it now. But there was no cable line. Think about that. This was all done over the airwaves. You had your rabbit ears, and then your rabbit ears bring in the signal, and then you have a special box between the rabbit ears and your TV that you can kind of use to decode scrambled signal. Now, anybody who tried to watch scrambled TV knows that, like, I think porn was sometimes like soft-core French, you know, amorous movies kind of a thing, would be sometimes what they would show. In fact, they had 2 stages of scrambling, I understand, because they would scramble to stage 1, and you would see, you know, movies, maybe even rated R movies that would not be able to be broadcast on regular broadcast TV. I think even complete with swear words. They didn't scramble the audio, but you would not be able to see the signal clearly. And then they would scramble sort of a second time and show the porn late at night. So if you know, channel 15 in Phoenix, which is the one we'll watch, signs off the air at 6 p.m. after 12 hours of being on the air, whatever. And then they go to on TV mode and they play movies and, you know, special. I think they tried to do music concerts and sports live shit like boxing, kind of like HBO did and does. But it was all over the airwaves, right? And let's just take a look at on TV, the transition to the scramble signal, which is kind of kooky and bizarre, but I just treasure it. This actually came from Phoenix, KNXV, channel 15. It was also in Chicago and other big cities, I think LA.
On TV.
On TV, subscription television.
At this time, Channel 15 ends its commercial programming schedule. In a few moments, our on-TV subscribers will be seeing exclusive first-run motion pictures, uncut and uncensored, as well as live sporting events and other special programming available only to our on-TV subscribers. This is KNXV-TV, Channel 15, Phoenix.
Okay, they fade their logo out, and we see black. And then I think we start to see the transition. I don't think there's any... Okay, here we go. That's the beginning of the scramble, right? They started scrambling their signal, and it takes the box on your TV a second to de-scramble it. And the mechanism by which the scrambling happened is not anything I know anything about. It is a mystery to me, essentially, because it's not great. You know, like if you look at you can see sort of this part was the left hand of the screen, and this is the right hand. If you watched it, you can sort of see human forms and whatever was on the screen, sort of in a partially scrambled way. I don't think it was really, really well scrambled. If you just tuned in without the box, I believe you could, probably see enough to, I don't know. You couldn't see enough to like tape a movie for your collection, but you could probably see enough to get your jollies off, for instance, if it was the porn stuff. Here we go.
We have just completed our transition to the scrambled mode. Welcome to On TV. The following motion picture has been rated PG by the Motion Picture Association.
I don't know what that popping is about.
On TV recommends recommends that parental guidance be exercised in viewing this film. Please consult your viewer's guide for more specific details.
Okay, so there's their little intro. You've just watched our transition into scrambled mode. And now this movie, rated PG. Whatever. And it's like some movie. I don't know what it is. And so let me scroll down to the related things and see if there's Spectrum pay TV. Oh, wait. Here's the on TV from Chicago. Let's just look at this really fast here. Maybe it's of higher quality than the Phoenix one. I don't know. Or maybe it won't load at all. Let's try this again. Seriously? It won't load at all? Okay, I'm at a loss. I don't know what's going on, but it's not working. I'll just close that for now. All right, well, let's do this. Let's look at Nickelodeon. What we're going to see here is the Nickelodeon sign-off. This is from 1984, and they became the Arts and Entertainment Channel. From the dairy, you can see the freeze frame here has a promo for Lassie coming up. Come along, you can find a world of magic. Come along, we can make the world your friend. Silver ball in the air, see it glow everywhere. Okay, that was it for Nickelodeon. Now look at this. Arts and Entertainment Network. Coming next, Arts and Entertainment Network, a presentation of Hearst ABC RCTV. And then watch how long this just goes on, a still frame of the logo. Dun, 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 dun. I just love that this takes so damn long. Like, please stay tuned. We're putting a tape in now.
This is the Arts and Entertainment Network, a presentation of Hearst ABC RCTV.
When it actually was Arts and Entertainment on the A&E channel. So again, I apologize for the quality there. There's some popping and some stuff missing. But what I'm looking at when I'm watching this, like CBS, what do you get so excited about? A, those tones. Those right there. But then this animation, this manual animation shit, right? Arts and Entertainment Network. Now, what am I seeing when I look at that? Look at the gleam on the letters when it forms, these streaks that make the letters form. I have a feeling that was filmed in reverse and then played backwards so that it looks like instead of the letters fade onto the screen and then become streaks and go off the screen, that's how I think they kind of do it, is in reverse. The streaks form the letters and then it all fades and wipes off, whatever.
This is the Arts and Entertainment Network.
But as the letters come back on the screen, watch for the gleam on each letter, the twinkle, the sparkle. Dun dun, and that giant ampersand is part of their logo. It's like, good God, that is classic. On this screen, what we're going to see is some of the old promos from Nickelodeon, including the late, great Leonard Nimoy, who hosted back then a show that was called like Lights, Camera, Action or something like that about movie making.
Get Stratego from Milton Bradley. Victory awaits you. This week on You Can't Do That on Television.
Remember that show?
Look at the gang, look at medicine. Rules and regulations. And the world of the future. Watch You Can't Do That on Television Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. And again at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
Only one feed back then.
You can't do that on television.
Not even a full day.
Only on Nickelodeon.
You can't do that on television. Only on Nickelodeon. Classic. And then,
This is Nickelodeon. Stay tuned for You Can't Do That on Television. But first, this. Next time on Stand By, Lights, Camera, Action.
Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy. Clothes make the man, or so they say. And in the movies, that's certainly true. Next time on Stand By, Lights, Camera, Action, we'll see if clothes make the creature when we look at Return of the Jedi.
When we first started doing design work on Jedi, we just started making monsters, and just making weird and horrible monsters.
We'll learn how wardrobe helps Monty Python explain the meaning of life. And we'll see how con man Jackie Gleason dresses the part for The Sting 2. So join me
The Sting 2
on Stand By, Lights, Camera, Action, only on Nickelodeon.
Don't miss Stand By, Lights, Camera, Action. Saturday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. And again Sunday at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. Stand By, Lights, Camera, Action. Only on Nickelodeon. The first channel just for kids.
The first channel just for kids. And this silver ball was kind of their logo. Again with the tones. I wish I could find some of that stuff because dun 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 dun. That was kind of their musical logo. If you know what a musical logo is, it's you know, dun 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 dun. Nationwide is on your side. You know, any of those things where a musical melody becomes in your mind associated with the company. Nationwide Insurance. Dun 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 dun. That one was dun 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 dun, which was the full vocal version was Nickelodeon. And I wish I could find some of that. We'll research that for next time. It's already 11:30. Let's do a little bit of game show fun. Let's see if we can't look at some Bullseye. Bullseye starring Jim Lange from, I think, also the 80s. What fascinates me here, again, the manualness of these 3 giant circular screens that were kind of their main focus of their game. I think this is pretty good quality compared to what we had last week, which was not necessarily the greatest quality on all of the Scrabble we were trying to watch. But here we go. Let's look some Bullseye here, thanks to YouTube. Look at those screens.
Daring determines the fate of the player. This is the game of strategy, luck, and rally. This is Bullseye. Now, here's our host, Jim Lange.
Jim Lange. And those screens have this animation that is sparkly and swirly, which is obviously a film animation. And then what's behind that swirl is essentially rear projected slide projectors. That's how they work. Watch for it.
The game of strategy, knowledge, especially daring, and a whole lot of money, as Jay told you. And Jay, would you please introduce once more our current champion? This is the 11th program of Bullseye in which our champion has appeared. Her winnings total $32,800. She's a homemaker who is active in the women's movement. Meet Donna Burke.
God, she's been on that show 11 times. They must not have had a limit on how many times you can keep coming back. Or maybe they have like an upper financial cap.
I just wondered, with all that money now.
All right, let's skip the prizes. I guess she's going on some trips and things.
This Irish vacation is furnished by CIE Tours International, Donna, and these prizes are worth over $2,750. Ah, Sharon, Donna. You like that? Always love to get Ireland. I think we'd all love to go to Ireland. You can win the bonus game and get $2,750 in prizes, all those that Jay mentioned, plus we'll double the money in the pot. All we want, 3 bullseyes up there. However, should lightning appear, you know what happens.
Yes,
It's only behind one of the windows, so good luck, okay? Your first spin, we want bullseyes and money and a trip to Ireland. Come on, there's $100.
$100.
$300. Bullseye, bullseye, there you go.
Okay, she gets a bullseye, so she gets to kind of lock that screen.
You can walk away with the $300, as you know. The $300 is yours to keep, or...
So I think the way it works, essentially, is that you know, they spin the slide projectors back there that project different things, different money amounts on the screen. One of them is also a bullseye, and in one of the 3 circles, in one of the 3 slide projectors, there's also one with a lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is the one that will kill you and knock you out of the game.
Let's freeze that lower bullseye, which means...
So she freezes the lower bullseye, and now she's only spinning the top 2. If that lightning bolt is in the shuffle in that bottom one, she's completely safe. So when she hits that button, it stops the cycling of the slide projectors from rotating through the different money amounts, the bullseyes, and the lightning, potentially, if it's the one with the lightning. And then it just, they have that kind of effect, and the lights flash, and it reveals which slide projector was activated when she hit the button.
And of course, if the lightning is behind the frozen window, it's gone for good. We want bullseyes. Come on. Bullseye, bullseye. 700. Bullseye. $800. Well, now it's up to $800.
I think if she gets to 2,000 or something.
$800 in cash money, or you can risk it and try for your 4th spin. And you think about it, okay? It's a big one. And we'll get decision from Donna in just a moment.
And they would have to take commercial break? Really? Okay, we're back.
About making a decision. You have $800. You can take it and walk away. The $800 is yours, or you can risk it and try for your 4th spin. What's it going to be? You're going to go. All right. She is going to go. Okay, let's spin the information, get it all mixed up on the board, get a good feeling in your fingers. We want bullseye. Come on, bullseye, bullseye. All right, $1,000. Bullseye, $1,100. Now, I know you hate it because this is the point. You can walk away with $1,100, or you can try for your 5th spin, remembering if you get all bullseyes, we will double the money and give you those prizes. What are you going to do, Donna? You feel daring? All right. She feels very daring. Okay, this is your 5th spin. You have $1,100. We'll spin the information. Get the good feeling with the bullseyes. Come on. We want bullseyes, bullseyes. All right, 1,300. Bullseyes. 1,500.
So yeah, usually when it hasn't come up by now, you feel like if there's one that's locked, it's safe. And they actually go through and flash them on the screen after the game is over to sort of indicate to you and the audience where the lightning bolt actually was. And if it's in that one that's safe, then she's completely safe. But they will show it. She's taking the money. Oh, okay. Wow, interesting. I didn't think they usually did that, but let's see where they're going to show us where the lightning bolt was.
You still have 2 windows possibly where the lightning was, and one that was covered and frozen. Where do you think the lightning was?
I had a hunch that it was in the bottom, but I was afraid to risk that much money.
You thought it was in the bottom. Okay, if it was in the bottom, you could have kept going. Let's flip all the information around without covering it up and see where that lightning was, okay?
Yeah, it was in the bottom.
It was in the bottom. Your hunch was right. You could have gone on and on and on and on to Ireland.
That was the only time I've had a hunch here, too.
Yeah, you played it very safe.
All right, well, okay, that's enough about Bullseye. I really, really like that game. By the way, if you want to call the numbers here, if you want to text, that's the number. 310-776-COONS. That's 310-776-5869. Let's do a couple of $25,000 pyramid lightning rounds while we're doing talking about lightning. The $25,000 pyramid probably is my favorite game show overall. I was a big fan of Pressure Luck, big fan of Sale of the Century, huge fan of the Scrabble game with Chuck Woolery in the late 80s and 90s. And of course, you know, things like Bullseye and kind of the lesser known game shows from the 80s were all grand. When it got to be Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and, you know, the game shows that were kind of more reality show than game show, that does not fit it just doesn't satisfy. It doesn't scratch my itch, if you will. Even The Price is Right, to a large degree, then and now, was not quite. I mean, The Price is Right is a good show. It's a good series of games, and I live for the wheel. Like, the thing about The Price is Right that I love is spinning the big wheel. But I get very bored of the Showcase Showdown. I get very bored with a lot of those pricing games. You know, it's obviously successful. It's run for a million years, and Drew Carey does a good job now, and Bob Barker did a great job before. But like opposite that, on the Game Show channel, for instance, you can watch what is it? Oh, of course, Sale of the Century and the Pyramid. But they also do like Pressure Luck and the Match Game and other stuff. That's actually Card Sharks is the one I was trying to think of. Card Sharks starring Bob Eubanks, possibly I think in large part a much better game because it's just, you know, higher, lower. It's kind of brainless. Deal or No Deal, I absolutely fucking despise because as comedian Nick Swartzen correctly points out, he's like, is it that one? Is it that one? It's just pointing at briefcases. Like there is no game playing there at all. British game shows of the modern era do, on the other hand, do a great job. And I believe I've sampled those here before. We will do it again. Let's go back to my screen here and look at the $25,000 pyramid. I don't know. Didn't pick which one we would do. Let's do one with Nipsey Russell here and see if this is good.
$1,000 pyramid.
Except no, because that is filmed television screen. I hate it when people film their television screen and put that on YouTube. It needs to be the actual signal. Direct from, you know. No cameras aimed at screens. There's Nipsey Russell.
Anything you need to know? Anything that I didn't mention on Friday that you want to hear today?
If she's a holdover, she doesn't need instructions. I do.
Yeah, you need instructions like a hole in the head. This man knows every nook and cranny of this show.
He's amazing at this game, Nipsey Russell.
All you just put it together for $10,000,
Let's
folks.
try.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. Here's your first subject. Go.
$25,000 pyramid.
Game shows?
Yes. I sat on the wall and I had a
What
great
Humpty
thought.
Dumpty says.
The races.
Things where you see
An
horses.
election.
Things where people run.
And
Things with candidates.
races. Horse races.
The
lottery.
Things people win.
The races.
Things people lose. Things people compete in. Things people
An election.
try at,
The outcome.
things with results.
The races. Go to the next. A snail.
Slimy
And
things.
Whoa, nailed it right there.
Secrets.
Things you keep. Things you tell.
That was fantastic. Oh my God.
Eyeglasses. A bucket. A hula.
Things with a thick bottom.
A
Round
hula.
things. Circular things.
Bucket top.
Hollow things.
A bucket.
Things with a rim.
Races.
Things you win. Things you.
The roulette wheel, the crap things, the horse race,
Gambling.
the dog races. What do
Things
you
you bet on.
Yeah, there it is. She said gambling, but that would not have done it.
I thought an election bet might give it to her, but I guess she.
And that election thing, I feel like he was kind of chasing the wrong thing as well. Because, oh, here's the other one. Okay, Shelley Smith is the other one. Before we go on, I noticed in that first one, it was game shows. And he said, hey, $25,000 pyramid, perfect first clue. And he used to be on the Match Game. And the name of that show was The Match Game. And if he had said Match Game, they would have given him a buzzer because that's an illegal clue. You cannot say any part of what's in that square. But he stopped himself. He was like, Match. But then she blurted out game shows right then. So it kind of went by so fast you didn't know. He's just such a good player at that game. Also, Marky Post, sensational. If you've ever watched her, I mean, again, this is all in the past now, but the best ones are Nipsey Russell, I feel like, and Marky Post. Possibly also, I can't say his name. I'll think of it as we watch this next one with Shelley Smith. I don't know if they will win or lose this.
Somebody in the audience said, go get him, Risa. You got your cheering squad out there. You're going for $25,000. There you go.
Woo!
If you win, pandemonium will reign supreme. Let's get your thoughts together. We'll ask for some nice quiet now so you can concentrate. Get the pictures of everything your partner is talking about. Let's give them 5 seconds just to tune into each other, all right? Everybody nice and quiet.
Very dramatic. I love how the lights
Here's your
go.
first
Watch the lights dim.
Go.
The host, the hostess, the guests.
People, things at a party.
I'd like to fill this for you, but your doctor
What a
doesn't
pharmacist
know
would say.
A car,
Things
a
you
bus.
drive.
Yes.
Things you drive. Easy.
The sharecroppers, the cotton.
Things on a farm, on a plantation.
Yeah.
Ooh, good.
A train station. 1960s shoes.
Things with spice.
1960s high
Things with
shoes.
buttons.
A train station. A bus depot. A train station. A political candidate.
Oh, good.
Platform.
Yes.
God, that was brilliant.
Caveman.
Prehistoric
Certain
things.
dances. Certain dances.
Primitive things.
Oh, look at nailed it. Bam. 25,000 is that easy to get. And again, I could just talk about it all day, but the manualness of that, all of those things that flip around. Here is your first subject. Shoot, go. There's a guy back there pulling levers and flipping switches. Like, those are not mechanized. That is literally a guy with a thing that he pulls to make it flip around to the clue. And then when he hears the bell ding from the judge, he flips it around again and reveals the money amount. Like, the coordination that took, you know, these days. And this is evidenced by the modern versions of the pyramid with just, you know, 6 screens, 6 TV screens there, all computerized. Nothing rotates, nothing flips. It's just the screen goes blink and there's the clue, and then blink, there's the money. I mean, there's nothing interesting or cool about that at all. Part of the reason this is so compelling, this shit is so, you know, nail biting, is not just the game itself. Because it is not nail-biting in the Donny Osmond version of the pyramid. It's shit when Donny Osmond is hosting. And part of the reason is because even though they try to up the tension with music, you know, and listen to you don't hear music during the original Winner's Circle. You hear that sound effect that I talked about before, which is a wood block being struck combined with a flute note. That's all it is. And that alone, the simplicity of that is just, I mean, the tension, and, you know, they dim the lights and they sort of get everybody quiet. I mean, they can build the tension in the old-fashioned way, and it is miles better. It is head and tail better than anything that the modern version with hyper technology and technological computerization can do. And that is evidenced over and over and over again. What is it? We got 15 minutes here. Let's look at a little Scrabble. I had so much fun doing Scrabble last week that I feel like doing it again. We won't watch a whole thing. We'll watch a part of an episode, though. Certainly to the bonus round, because that's where the good shit is the bonus round. And we will proceed with this edition of It's a Steak on Scrabble. I don't know what that is.
Nice to see you both. How are you, Liz? Tell me about yourself.
Well, Chuck, I'm originally, like he said, from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm a flight attendant for a major airline, and I'm married to beautiful daughters, and my travels take me to Mexico.
Oh, great. Well, it's nice to have you. You know, I'd like to have someone, I wonder if anyone ever will come on and say, I'm a flight attendant for a minor airline.
Well,
that's funny.
It's nice to have you.
I think that's funny.
You, Chuck.
Hi, Steve. Hello, Chuck. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a student at the University of California, Santa Barbara. I'm a senior there. I hope to graduate in June with a degree in pharmacology. From there, I would like to...
Okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's play the game, please.
Sales representative for a major or a minor pharmaceutical company, whatever I can get. Every time I enjoy skydiving, and I hopefully will win enough money where I can buy a parachute.
He wants to buy a parachute? What the fuck was that?
Must be tough parachuting. Jumping out of those planes thinking, boy, if I just had a parachute.
What the hell?
This is going to be a lot easier once I get that parachute. Oh, okay.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Let's play. What do you say? Here, let's go to the board. We're ready. That's great. Building on the letter R. Oh, yes, thank you. Who won the toss? I got the parachute. You did? Okay, Steve. Where's one? Thank you. Building on the letter R. 8 letters in the word, or in the world. Ronald Reagan can't remember the last time he kissed Nancy on hers.
What? That's a really long clue.
Go, Steve.
I'll take tile number 1 and tile number 2.
O and a P.
Let's place that P, please, Chuck.
$500. Ronald Reagan can't remember the last time he kissed Nancy on hers.
Oh, I can't get it. How about tile O, please?
Well, it could have been in May.
I still don't have it. I'll take tile number 3 and tile number 4.
Maybe it was Christmas. K and a C.
Let's have that C, please.
Oh.
Liz, Ronald Reagan can't remember the last time he kissed Nancy on hers.
All right, I'll take tile number 8.
K or an O?
I'll place that K.
Stopper right to you, Steve. Back at you, and 1 stopper left.
Work to my advantage. I'll take tile number 5, please.
D and an O.
Oh, let's place that D, please, Chuck.
Ronald Reagan can't remember the last time he kissed Nancy on hers.
Doorstep?
I know this one.
Yeah?
Doorstep.
That's got it. Yes, sir. Okay.
Wow.
Here we go, Liz. Spelling on the letter O in doorstep. 6 letters in the word, and the clue is they can't control themselves. Or they can't control themselves.
And again, part of the thing I like about this is that it is computerized. You do see some of the game, the computer elements here, and then the letters and the strip and stuff like that in this area, but also the sound effects, completely original, which not all game shows did.
I'll take the D.
Okay.
And I still don't know it. 6 and 3.
A and an S.
I'll take the S.
They can't control themselves.
A.
No. Steve, it's over to you.
I think I know this, Chuck. I want the cashola.
Steve.
Give me tile number 4 and tile number 8.
O and an M.
Place that O for me, Chuck.
$500. They can't control themselves.
Cashola. Robot.
Yeah.
Robots.
Well, first, how much is a parachute?
About $2,500 to $3,000.
Seriously?
Well, here's the box that it comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. There you go.
All right, so we'll do one more word, and then we'll get to the bonus round, so that'll be about it.
All right, it's 2 to zip. We're in speed word. Liz, hands on your buzzers. Steve, same to you. We're going to put the letters in place one at a time. Can't give her the last letter. That's up to you. She's trying to get back in the game. Steve's going for it. Building on the letter T in robots. 8 letters in the word, and the clue is he avoids the rush. He avoids the rush. Ready? Go. He avoids the rush. Steve.
Tortoise.
Tortoise.
Yes, sir. That's got it. Well, Liz, we have some nice parting gifts for you. We have a great parting gift for you. As a matter of fact, Charlie's going to tell you about it right now.
Liz, for you, we have Gordon's His or Hers watch. Hers with a distinct 2-tone dial. His with a calendar. Both with quartz precision. Furnished by Gordon's Jewelers.
Well, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We enjoyed having you. Come on down, Steve. I got some more money for you. $500 for the game is up to $1,000. Here's another $1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000. What about the items? Just you and me, pal. Dual jumping.
And again, the set with the rotating pieces and that big board and stuff, it's so good. And I would love to know, in the way that I did research to sort of find out exactly how that board worked. There are people who have analyzed and have spoken to the people who put those circular boards together in the Bullseye game show that we watched at the beginning. And that stuff fascinates me because I suspected, given just how it looked and how it sort of seemed to work from watching it a lot, that's got to be done with projectors back there, like still slide projectors. And turned out I was right. In this case, these are not still slide projectors. These appear to be computerized monitors or cameras in that big rotating cube. And there's 2. I don't know if that's just one computer screen where the sort of letters form that they're looking at when it boom, 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 boom. But it's just, it's so good. I could just seriously get off on that shit all day long. All right, let's watch the bonus round here, and we'll call it a night on cBass After Dark.
And now, back to Scrabble and Chuck Woolery.
Okay, we're back. Fred Pearson has $500. He's established a time of 51 seconds, and Steve Daly has $2,000. They're both playing for $1,000, the opportunity to play for $5,000, the bonus. And Steve's going to play the same 4 words. Remind you to hit your plunger. That's what stops the clock. No stoppers in any of these words. All the letters are good, Steve. Good luck. First word, 5 letters. Most people do it with their eyes closed.
Most people
do it with their eyes closed.
Ready? Yeah.
Go. Tell me.
Oh! 10-second penalty.
10-second penalty. Let's continue. Most people.
And he still has to get it.
Closed.
Why did he hit that?
Ready? Go.
R. D. Extreme. Yes, quicker.
All right. Well, it only took him a couple seconds, but man, that was bad. Now, he had a lot of time to begin with.
They're feeling blue.
They're feeling
Ready?
blue.
Ready. Go. S. M.
Smurfs.
They're feeling blue.
R. Smurfs.
Yes. The third word has 7 letters. He hears a lot of swear words.
E. Here's a lot of swear words.
Ready?
Ready.
Go.
A. B. F.
He hears a lot of swear words.
L.
Bailiff?
Bailiff.
Yes, you have 21.47.
Oh, swear words in a court. Yeah, you swear. Okay.
They're in a whirl.
They're in a whirl.
Ready?
Ready.
Go.
S. C. L.
They're in a whirl.
N. Y.
They're in a whirl.
Cyclones.
Cyclone.
Yeah, 10.77. Congratulations, Steve. Well, you had that penalty, but it didn't help you much, I'm afraid, Fred. You're going to leave us with $500 and our thanks. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Don't walk away. Don't stay right here with us. We go to a break. And when we come back, Steve Daly with his 3,000. He's going to try to add 5 to it.
All right, and that's the bonus round, but there's like a secondary bonus round, which I also really love about Scrabble, because it's like, all right, now that you've won the actual bonus money, here's a chance for some extra bonus money.
And now, back to Chuck Woolery and today's winner. Look it out, your big stuff now. Now, what? You got enough to buy a parachute, so you go into this parachute place, and the guy says, this is our model 944. This is on sale this week for $1,500. It may or may not open. I mean, you know what? How do you... 3,000 is the best one you can buy.
Yeah, I want to go for a custom order, special colors, everything.
Oh, good.
Well, looks good. Looks good coming down. If it 3,000.
And what are you going to say if it doesn't? A little more than ouch.
That's funny shit. I'm sorry. I like it.
2 words.
2
10
words.
seconds on the clock.
10 seconds.
And you can have a backup parachute.
Hard to give me that.
First word, 6 letters. They're blowhards.
They're blowhards.
They're blowhards.
Ready?
Ready.
Go.
H. S.
They're blowhards.
E. W.
They're blowhards.
Whales?
That's good. Okay, 2.8 seconds. Not a lot of time.
Oh, man, that's not a lot of time. You better get it off the clue.
But I believe you can get this if you think. 7 letters. A way of communicating.
Way of communicating?
Ready?
Ready.
Go.
N.
Boxing? Talking.
Real simple, unfortunately. Well, it was just that. That's all right.
All right.
Bonus is up to 6,000 tomorrow. That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you there. Bye-bye, everybody.
And it looks like that actually file continues on. Maybe we'll have to watch the rest of that next week, because good Lord, I get such a sort of rush. I mean, I don't get any bigger rush than I get from when I'm watching the Pyramid Winner's Circle game. That's the best rush I get, because it's like, man, that is good shit. You know, the production value is so solid, and the coordination, I have an appreciation somewhere in the back of my mind for that. You know, I just watch it and I go, God, I wish I could have. I truly wish I could have replaced Dick Clark as the host of that show. Not that I think I would have been better, but as far as all of the jobs in the world, if you had all of the jobs in the world at any time to pick and choose which one you wanted, I mean, is it cushy? Yes. Do you have to work it all? Not really. But just to be there in the middle of that and to witness that firsthand and to be a part of, you know, maybe the production. I don't think Dick Clark did any of the writing of as far like the clues, the categories, or that kind of thing. But like God, the work that went into that, and I mean, I'm sorry, it shows. It is better than the later versions of it that were technologically advanced and oriented, and just good shit. I flagged a lot of news stories that I did not bring to you because I just wanted to have fun tonight. We'll do some news tomorrow, News Wednesday, and maybe some more sign-ons and sign-offs and promos and idents and shit, because that stuff really excites me. Make it a great St. Patrick's Day. I didn't mention it, but I am wearing my Sheldon Cooper Big Bang Theory hoodie that my sister gave me for Christmas a couple of years ago. It's really one of the only green garments I own, but thank goodness I have it come St. Patrick's Day. I hope you had a great St. Patty's Day. Make it a great Wednesday. We will talk to you Wednesday evening right here on cBas not cBas Saturday night. What am I talking about? cBas After Dark. Good night.